I've had a video on emotional intelligence a few short weeks ago. When I understand, and I went over in my 35th, um, five things, five things before I literally turned 35. One of the things I learned in emotional intelligence is just simply when you realize that you can evaluate a person's emotions, and you can evaluate them to a point where it's like, okay, they're saying that because maybe they were traumatized, or maybe they're succumbing to peer pressure. And so they want to throw this narrative out there because maybe they've been either fear mongered from the news, or they've not done their research, or combination of both. I believe it's soap. Soap and water. It ain't got to be scented, but it's got to be soap. And so I am just very thankful for the emotional intelligence that God's developed in me to be able to be like, okay, I can't really get offended at you saying that, because knowing what I know that's not the truth. You go out there if you want to, especially with summer, and this not me being funny. Now look at me now. Listen to the inflection and tone of my voice. You go out there if you want to, sister girl, sister soldier. You go out there if you want to, just doing soap and water, or just water, before, during, and after your period, or you in the middle of that 28-day cycle where it's just not yet about to come on, but you're about 3 to 4 days from it. You go out there if you want to with that heat and that sundress, or them high-waisted jeans and that t-shirt, or that crop top. You go out there if you want to. I'm saying this with all the love of God that I have in my heart, and with all the concern. You go out there if you want to. You take that risk. I don't advise it. Use soap and water. If you are too afraid of an allergic reaction, fear of peer pressure, you're not yet at that level at which people can suggest things to you, and then you feel like their word is law. You don't welcome research. One of the things I've learned is, before you come into agreement with somebody about how you should run your life, especially something so personal and intimate, such as taking care of your delicate feminine parts, you need to evaluate the suggestion that they're making. And then me saying that you need to evaluate their suggestion, this is still a suggestion that I'm giving y'all. It's not a requirement. I just heavily suggest that across the whole channel, even if I'm not talking about sensitive subjects like this. Evaluate the suggestion they're giving you. Then you go and do research. Is doing research fun? No. Is it worth it? Yes. This channel is disposed of all of that. It has it all. And I encourage it all the time. I live by that. Y'all have seen where I've made mistakes and I leave them in the video. I make mistakes and I share the mistakes with y'all. I'm like, hey, don't do like what I did with such and such. Because I want you to see, because I might not be the only one having that issue. Evaluate what a person suggests to you. Go and do research right after. And if you can't do it immediately after, plan for a time slot at which you can do it. And then based on what you find out, then come and do a self-evaluation. Third step. Okay, with the research that I have now found out, I'm going to use this as an example since we're talking about it right now. With the research I found out about feminine washes and about feminine hygiene and the scented products, now what do I want to do with it? Am I comfortable with this going forward? No. If not, you got some more research to do. Well, what are the alternatives? If you don't feel like doing that, okay, what are some products that don't have those, that aren't as scented or that aren't as toxic? Then you go with this. You still got to research. You're not getting out of it, whether you want to go the fragrance-free or more natural or 100% cotton route, or whether you want to stick with the ones with the chemicals, or with the chemicals that have less of them, or more environmentally friendly. You're going to have to do research no matter which road you choose. And so that's the argument that I don't want to call it argument. That is the debate. That is the point that I want to make. I don't have to have the last word on it, but I figured I might as well have the discussion because I've gotten that comment so many times across platforms that I'm on. There's even plant-based. If you just don't want to throw away the chemicals altogether, Miss Saint Square, I made a short about it, I think, and a video, or either it was just a video, and I'll put that on the community tab after I'm done. After this live stream is done, I'll put that on the community tab. Plant-based feminine hygiene wash. You really have no excuse at this point. At the Dollar Tree, I'm sorry, at the $1.25 tree. That's what I call them now. We ain't even had to discuss my level of side eyes I feel about that. But yeah. So don't rule. I say all that to say this. Don't rule out washing your lady parts, washing your flower, washing your pocketbook, whatever you want to call sister girl. But you were born with her. You got to take care of her. You can't have her out here telling on herself, and you going out here in this undisclosed temperature amount of heat that you don't know from one day to the next how hot or cold it's going to be. Wash her, please. Wash her, whatever you call her, wash her. Because you got to live with her from the time you're born in this world until the time whenever. Okay? Wash her. That's do your research and wash her anyway. Fragrance-free, plant-based, or you go with the chemicals and figure, okay, well, let's find out what products are not as toxic. You got to make a choice. Or make them your own self, but even if you're making them your own self, guess what you still got to do? You still have to use one of those categories of products until you make your own products. And that's not shade. It's me encouraging you if you want to be the solution rather than the part of the problem. Perspective is everything. But even in the Bible, it says, so a man thinketh, whatever you think, so is he. So if you think there's no better alternative, you think you have to abide by someone forcing or peer pressuring you to be like, oh, just soap and water or just water. No, ma'am. Your menstrual cycle determined that lie detector test was a lie. Jeez. Hey, I come every month. I come every month. You might want to use soap. And she looking at you. I come every month. Soap is required for me. She's looking at you. Your hormones, your uterus, everything. You know I'm coming in a couple of days. You got to use soap. I require soap. And pads and tampons and wipes and everything. And you got to pack me to take with you for travel. That's all I'm saying about the feminine hygiene stuff. I said a few short weeks ago, I have been saying it on and off that we need to have this discussion, and today we're gonna have the discussion. That is my point of view. Before you go out there talking about, oh well, I'm gonna just let people peer pressure me into, oh, just soap and water only. You use soap, you just be selective as to what you use, but never just water only. No, ma'am. All these different soaps out here, plant-based, if you're chemical conscious, if you're ingredient conscious, do that. If you're not, that's between you and the good Lord Almighty. Do you have no excuse? Plant-based, there's options out there. The $1.25 tree. Plant-based, feminine hygiene wash. And it was like the kind that foams, I think. I'll put it up on the community tab after I'm done here. But I had to say all that and say a whole mouthful about that feminine hygiene thing, because you go out there if you want to. I'm not being funny about it. You go out there if you want to, talking about water only. You go out there if you want to. And I say this with love. You go out there if you want to, sister. I don't want that for you. Because nowadays, you're behind wind up on either one of three places: World Star Hip Hop, YouTube, or TikTok, or Instagram. one of 4 options. You don't want that, and it gonna be in a bad way. And they may not ever capture your face, but they're gonna be in the comments ripping you to shreds, and I don't want that. This is why I lovingly fuss for the people who have this type of argument of water only. Okay, you could do scented. There's a way you could do it. There's also another option of Norforms. Those are feminine deodorant suppositories. That's the OG brand that I grew up with as a teenager. That was introduced to me by family. That helps deodorize directly after your menstrual cycle. You could do it a little bit before, but don't totally rule out the scented products. That means you leave it up to yourself to do the research. If you feel so strongly against it, I heavily encourage you, sister, to do the research and then determine which option, because there's alternatives out there. It's not like maybe a good 10 or more years ago where those options weren't out there and the dangers were still afloat. Although the dangers are still afloat now, 10 plus some odd years later, now in 2024, you have more options than you did back then. That's all I'm saying to you, sister. That's all. And this is not coming from a place of judgment, because if you don't know any better, you won't what? Do any better. That's all. I would say I rest my case, but that's what I got to say about it. About that portion of things.